The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
How do these interest rates sound to you? 8% on your savings, 0% on a loan. Sounds too good to be true? Well, these are in fact the kind of rates we're seeing from a growing number of crypto lending and borrowing platforms seeking to disrupt the banking industry. And there are many questions about this. So joining us with some of the answers is Bill Barhydt, CEO of Abra. Hey, Bill.
Morning.
So, Bill, I've been covering you for many years, and I've noticed multiple iterations in Abra's business model, from remittances to a sort of a synthetic investing play, and now these interest-earning borrowing and lending kind of structures. Can you explain what this latest model is all about?
Sure. I mean, it's an evolution for us of offering a full crypto banking suite. We offer people the ability through our brokerage to trade, now to earn high yield through their dollar stablecoin and crypto deposits, and also to borrow against crypto holdings, which is a super fast growing part of our business, so that people can basically borrow without having to recognize capital gains to avoid taxes in the short term, or to continue to reap gains while they access some of the winnings on their crypto holdings.
So, Bill, how do you guys get yourselves that 8% return to pay out that as interest? And how are you offering leverage to others, or what exactly are you guys doing to get that and to also provide low-cost loans?
Yeah, so we generate yield in three ways, and you have to keep in mind that there's a yield curve in crypto which is very different than what we associate with the banking system, because these are transactions which are traditionally so far not part of the banking system, because when the banks hear the word crypto, they tend to head for the hills, and then the consumer is left on their own, or the institution's left on their own. So that represents kind of a different yield curve here. So we're generating that yield in three different ways today. The first is consumer lending, and there we will often take collateral from the consumer, which could be anywhere from 2 to 10x. You mentioned our zero interest loan, which would basically require up to 10x collateral, but is a very, very safe environment, right, for generating that yield. Then we have a certain amount of DeFi investing that we do. We've been very, very conservative in that area, but it's been growing at a reasonable clip now, and it's generating great returns for us. And the last, of course, is institutional lending, which has been our bread and butter since the beginning. From the beginning of the company, but this has been a great winner for us. And all in, I mean, we're actually paying about 85% of the returns to our depositors, consumers mostly, and some institutions that are now also generating that 8% yield on dollars and 4 to 5% on crypto.
You have a very ambitious global strategy. You're all over the world. Which countries are you seeing, or which countries or regions are you seeing the most activity? And are there any surprises in the global data, like places where you're seeing things that you wouldn't have expected?
Yeah. So I think that we have a really interesting kind of two target customers that we're seeing en masse come into Abra right now. Very, very high net worth customers, and that's in multiple countries, who love the narrative of crypto, believe that it's their hedge for their wealth protection, and love the idea of generating yield and potentially borrowing against those holdings. Then we have emerging markets, right? So places like the Philippines, which I've talked about here before, now Central America, we're live in El Salvador and Guatemala, and more countries coming soon, Middle East, India. Places where the narrative is slightly different, but actually overlapping with that high net worth narrative, which is that I've seen my currency in my home country go to shit one or multiple times. I don't trust necessarily my local fiat currency. I love the idea of being able to store money in dollars and get exposure to Bitcoin. Very similar to the high net worth narrative, but coming at it from a different perspective. And our belief is that they're going to meet in the middle over time and become kind of a global middle class system. But for now, we're seeing the biggest adoption at the two edges, in the high net worth and the developing markets.